So yesterday I went to the dentist to get my teeth cleaned, a very simple procedure. My dentist knows that I have tinnitus. I've explained that to her. And even though I took precautions, I came back, and a few hours after coming back, I realized that I was going through a spike. So in this video, I want to talk about some tips that I'd like to share with you to try and avoid getting a spike from going to the dentist. And I'd also like to share with you some advice on if you do get a spike or a mini spike from going to the dentist. So let's go through 3 tips that I'd like to share with you. Tip number 1 is the obvious, and that's earplugs. If you've seen any of my other videos, you know that I'm very into earplugs. And if you are in a position where tinnitus is affecting your life, I really hope that you are investing in at least 1 pair of good earplugs. I have several, even though they cost money. I need them. I couldn't do without them. So when I go to the dentist, here's what I do. I put them in when I'm in the waiting area. And the reason why is because my particular dentist has other dentists in the area. And I know that when I'm waiting, I could be exposed to those very high pitch frequencies that the dentists use when they use the drills and that sort of stuff. So when I'm in the waiting area, I put them in. When I'm in the dentist chair, I make sure they're absolutely in, so that I avoid sort of any of those unwanted sounds, such as high pitched drills, like I mentioned. I don't want that. I keep them in. And I don't take them out until I come out of the dentist, because it can happen that, you know, you've done your whatever you need to do and you go and pay and you're talking to the dentist, and from another room you could hear a high-pitched noise. It's not a noise that affects anyone else, so everyone else is acting normal, but you're not comfortable with it, and you get that sort of very uncomfortable situation where you can't focus on the conversation because you're focusing on the sound. So I keep them in all the time that I'm there, and I only take them out when I'm outside of the building. Tip number 2, tell your dentist. I'm very much into being open. Being open has helped me maintain my music career. I'm a professional musician. So if I'm in situations that I'm not comfortable, because I'm open about it, because everyone else around me knows, it makes things less embarrassing. It tells people what I can do and what I can't do. By telling your dentist, you can sort of explain why you would like certain things to happen. There's not much a dentist can actually do, because if they're taking out a tooth or they have to drill to fix a cavity, there's not really much they can do. They have to use the equipment. But in my situation, for example, when I'm cleaning my teeth, instead of using that drill or that laser that they use, it's got really high-pitched noise, she uses the normal sort of manual sort of scraping, which I feel like a bit of a horse when she does that, but it means that I avoid that really high-pitched noise. Also, if you are uncomfortable with things like a radio, I know this sounds crazy, but if you're going to be sat in that dentist chair for like 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and there's a radio on a level that you're not comfortable with, because you've been open, because you've told your dentist, you can ask them to politely turn it down. All these things help reduce your anxiety. And for me, again, because I go to this particular dentist, there are other dentists in the building, I ask her to close the door so that I don't hear those other high-pitched noises that are coming from the other rooms. And again, because I've been open about it, she completely understands and everything is totally okay. Being open is a really, really big helpful thing, I think. Tip number 3, this is a really minor point, but I think it's important if you can start to internalize this overall. And that is to position yourself in areas where there is less noise or no noise. So what does that mean in a dentist sort of area? Well, if you're waiting in the waiting area, you are probably going to be hearing a lot of noise coming from the other patients. So instead of sitting right by those rooms, perhaps you can position yourself somewhere further away from the noise. Perhaps you can wait outside. You can tell the lady you're here, go and wait outside, and they'll come and get you. It sounds crazy, but if you can start to internalize the idea that you have tinnitus that's affecting your life, so you don't want unwanted sounds, or at least you want to try and reduce the unwanted sounds coming in. So if that means moving away from things, if you're in a bar, moving away from the speaker, if you're in an office where someone's talking and presenting, moving away, just keeping yourself as far away as you can from the noise source. If you can begin to internalize that, it can help you. And in a dentist situation, it means, for me, it means sitting right in the corner where there is a wall and there is sort of an alcove where I can go into, so that I'm at the furthest point away from the noise. I know it's a minor point, but I think it applies to all situations going forward, as well as the dentist. So finally, even though I did all these tips, I came back and a few hours later, I realized I was going through a spike. I think the reason why I was going through a spike yesterday is because my dentist used the polish tool, which has a low frequency. It's like a dull sound. And we both thought that that wouldn't affect me, but it has. But here's what I want to say about this. The spikes that I get a lot of nowadays are mini spikes. I've made a video about this. You can check it on my channel. And what that means is that what I do, I prepare myself to come out of the spike within 3 or 4 days. So yesterday, I went to the dentist. Today, this is the next day. I'm already better. And what I do is when I start to go through these mini spikes, I take the rest of the day off. I don't mean from work, but I take the rest of the day off from volume. I try and reduce my volumes at all costs. I take it easy on myself. I continue working, but I just take it easy and I stay calm. It's important, I think, if you're going through a spike, to stay calm, to do all the things that I talk about in my other videos regarding spikes, but mostly it's stay calm, reduce your volumes, give yourself a breather. And I did that yesterday, and today I'm already better. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because I know some people are worried or concerned about going to the dentist because of their tinnitus. We have to go to the dentist. As someone that's been to the dentist many times, it's important. We have to live our lives regardless of the tinnitus. So the point that I'm making is, if you do go through a spike, try and remain calm, give yourself a breather, reduce your volumes, and with time, it should eventually fade. Mine, I can only speak for my own spikes, of course, but mine eventually fade. I'm going through a lot of mini spikes, I'm finding. These are happening quite often over the last 8 months. But I go through the process of staying calm, and I come out of them after 3 or 4 days. These are mini spikes. So I think it's important that if you do get a spike from a dentist appointment, to try and remember that it could well be a mini spike, and then after a few days, if you stay calm, reduce your volumes, give yourself a breather, you might be coming out of them. I just wanted to add that at the end. All right, guys, I want to let you know I've got a website called helpmytinnitus.com where you can download my free PDF 5 tips for tinnitus. But for now, I want to say thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.